Welcome back to the Third Wheel Podcast. I'm Caleb.
What shafts backwards?
Surprise.
It's a bad one.
I watched a show called Twin Peaks. It's really good.
Yep.
And it has this version of the Upside Down from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay.
Stranger Things probably took a lot from this show,
Yeah.
but they say everything like backwards.
That's
or
cool.
they say the line backwards, but then they play it forward, so it sounds weird. So it's like, let's rock.
Oh, I can edit that.
Yeah.
Duh, I'm stupid.
We should do a Black Lodge version of this show where we're saying stuff backwards. That's our whole dialogue, and then you play it forward.
Oh, okay. Or we could do like that Seinfeld episode where they do the entire episode backwards, but in segments.
Yeah, for real. That'd be great.
You have to try to guess what it's
Yeah.
about.
So today's episode is all about drama. I got a lot of drama today. I'm excited about
I'm
it.
sorry.
Yeah, I know. First up on this chopping block here is the Unalive Squad self-deletes the Justice League.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, self-delete squad unalives the Justice League. There we go.
You do make it entertaining when you say that.
No, so the best game ever came out a couple months ago
Yeah.
to worldwide critical unacclaim. Everyone hates it. So the Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, the video game,
Yeah.
right? Came out 2 months ago, I think. Everyone universally said it sucked. Essentially, there are a couple defenders, but not that many. A lot of stuff. You take like the Snyder Cut version of the Justice League has its defenders. There's the Snyder Cut crew. There's the Snyderverse crew. His people have a built-in fan base. This game, not so much, right? So I think you wanted to do a full kind of episode on it. I don't know if there's enough here for a full episode, but we talked about a few episodes ago the life service model.
Yeah.
There's a line in the game where somebody's like, "Oh my gosh, we got to kill 13 other Brainiacs."
No.
Yeah.
I think it was like 16 or something like that.
It was something bad.
No, it was 13 because
I
they
think it was
ripped off
13.
Kingdom Hearts there.
Yeah. I was watching Angry Joe's video, and he was reacting to season 1 of the Battle Pass, and he's like, "Okay, so now we're down to 11 Brainiacs."
So apparently, quick sidebar, there's a comic panel where Superboy, but bad Superboy, so everyone when Superboy goes bad, he punches a supervillain so hard. Oh, the Darkest Knight. You know who the Darkest Knight is? It's Batman, but evil.
Yeah.
He punches the Darkest Knight so freaking hard that it eliminates every single multiverse version of himself.
Nice. They're gonna have to do that in the DLC.
Now they could have done this.
Yeah, they're gonna have
Superboy
to.
just comes out and just like bam.
Yeah.
Oh
Is
my
that in the
gosh.
actual Darkest Knight storyline?
Yeah, that's how he ends.
Okay,
Apparently, Superboy punches him.
I like so when you play the first Injustice, I
Yeah.
like all the different skins of the Darkest Knight
Mhm.
heroes, which is
Yeah.
really cool. They got Batman, Superman, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Darkest Knight version, super cool. So I love that.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I'm familiar with it. Other than that, I don't really know that much about it. But
It goes a bit crazy.
yeah. So 13 Brainiacs that they have to fight over, of course, 13 seasons of the Battle Pass, I'm assuming. Real excited for, right? I mean, everyone rushed out to buy this game. Universal hate.
And all the Brainiacs are just beefed up versions of the bosses you already fought.
Yeah, that was another thing, too. So the very final boss fight is Brainiac turns into Flash again. You have to fight the Flash.
And the next one is Superman. It's like, oh, that's original.
They recycle 4 missions.
Yeah.
So they fight evil Superman in the game?
Well, in the latest trailer for the Joker.
Oh, okay.
They fight evil Superman.
Well, in the actual game, it's evil Green Lantern. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, so not even evil Superman. It was just in the trailer. But they're building up to it, so predictable plot. I just don't know where they're going with this.
Apparently, so the trailer that released, not the trailer, but the release, but like the patch that released for the game, Joker's released now.
Yeah.
And according to people who've played it, I don't know who still plays it, they add like the trailer makes it look like there's a whole bunch of new cutscenes with the Joker. Like you can play through the entire game with him.
There's one.
Essentially, it's one mission. You get one or two cutscenes with him, and that's it. And you can play with him, but like he doesn't have like unique cutscenes or anything.
Nope.
He's just like literally just like a skin, basically.
Yep.
Like with
He shoots just like everybody else,
Yep.
just like Boomerang, just like Killer Shark or King Shark. Sorry.
yeah.
Harley Quinn. They all shoot.
So
Joker, he shoots.
did you hear what Warner Brothers said about the Warner Brothers Interactive? What they basically their response to all this hate towards the Suicide
We're gonna
Squad.
keep making them.
They said, actually, we are not going to make any more single player games. We're going to move away from that. We're
Yep.
going to double down.
Yep.
Double down on the live service games.
Yep, I'm so excited.
Okay,
I
so
can't wait
apparently the Harry Potter game,
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy, like outsold like way beyond what they were expecting.
Single player game, right?
Single player game.
It's at least co-op.
No.
Oh,
nothing like that.
Impressive.
Doesn't even have online Quidditch.
Oh my gosh.
People wanted that. They didn't have it.
Yeah.
Apparently, I think it was like hottest selling game of the year or something like that. Like crazy. Suicide Squad doesn't do that. And they're like, does the opposite actually.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we want to make more of this. Because you know what? They probably, as sad as it is, they probably made money somehow. Because they've charged $70 for this game. And there's always the idiots who will pay the microtransactions. But like, there's no way they made as much money.
Yeah.
How did they make? There's no. They didn't make money. They didn't make as much money as Hogwarts Legacy.
Absolutely not.
So why? I don't understand it.
The game came out and flopped upon arrival. That's the thing. Was like it had like I think 3,000 players, which is lower than games like Anthem.
Yeah.
Other games that had this model that died immediately, and they still. Oh, Marvel's Avengers. That's the other one. Marvel's Avengers came out with the same exact model.
They should have learned from them, but
probably had more of a story than this game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not as good of a premise, granted, but they didn't even meet those numbers.
No.
You know what I mean? And Warner Brothers or whoever was like, yeah, these numbers are great. You know what I mean?
It is really sad to see. Like, dude, okay, a lot of developers are always complaining, being like, you can't just make good games and make money anymore. You have to have these microtransactions. You just have to wait to milk more money. And I get it. Like if you're developing a game that doesn't have a built-in fan base, it can be really hard. But like if you have an IP as strong as Harry Potter or Star Wars or something like that, like DICE made it wasn't DICE. It was the people who made Titanfall. I forget their names.
I love Titanfall.
But they made Fallen Order.
Yeah,
it's a single player game.
Oh yeah,
and everyone said it was like the game companies were like, no, it has to be online Battlefront 2. You know, like no, it actually sold really, really, really well, and it was a solid single player. And again, they have a valuable IP, but Warner Brothers literally has unlimited IPs, so it's like
it's bad when they're making EA look good in comparison. Because you think about when Fallen Order came out, and it was very much, it was Battlefront 1, which did terribly, Battlefront 2. Which also was awful. Those are the only two games over like a 5-year period that they released. EA, which had BioWare under their umbrella. You know, the Mass Effect or the KOTOR people, right?
Yep.
And they released these terrible games, flops that had all the live service stuff that you can expect. They didn't do well, and so then they made Fallen Order, which was just single player, focused on all that. And they even addressed it. They said, here, we'll do a Q&A, and we'll talk about, like, we'll address some of these concerns y'all have. That's very fair. And Warner Brothers just isn't paying attention like to any of that. You know what I mean? They saw the competition. They saw that, Marvel's Avengers failed.
Yep.
Same exact model. More of a story, even. It was in better shape than Suicide Squad. Failed. Close their doors, no more nothing, right? It's almost I don't even know if it's delisted off of Steam, but it's
not. But yeah,
it's completely just like the multiplayer's turned off essentially. And then you get before that you got Anthem, same thing, and all of these are trying to couple the live service model of Destiny, essentially Destiny 1 and 2. So Destiny came out first, and this was I'd say probably the first game that had this model of play the base story, which sucks, but we'll add more to it later.
Right.
We got 10 years worth of content that we're gonna produce over time. Well, 4 years after Destiny comes out, big success. They released the battle pass, the skins, the season, all that stuff, right? Success.
Yeah.
So instead of taking the 10-year plan that they promised, they took the other 6 years and turned it into Destiny 2.
Right.
Same results. Not bad game, right?
Yeah.
Not good. Missing stuff. Like buy your skin separately.
Yeah.
Play these weekly events. Still successful because it's Destiny and it did it first.
Right.
So now every game company and their mom is trying to do the same exact thing, where they take whatever IP and just just turn it into Destiny, or try to copy Destiny's success. So EA does it with Anthem. Failure. Fails immediately. A year later, or give or take some change, fails. Done. Canceled. Marvel's Avengers, same thing. A year's time from Suicide Squad, going to be canceled. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Also, Redfall, people who made...
I forgot about that one.
Dishonored. They made Redfall, and then no one wanted to work on that Redfall as soon as they realized what it was going to be. And it was a live service thing, and no one bought it.
And that's another thing too, is they'll take these companies that aren't known for live service games. They're known for single player RPG, like really good games, and they'll take them and say, here, make a live service Destiny. And that's not their forte.
It was the same thing when everyone made a battle royale mode. Remember when everyone was making a battle royale mode?
Yeah, and before that, but what did they do before that? They made World of Warcraft. Yeah, same exact
MMOs.
thing.
Everyone's making
everyone. Massive. No, I'm sorry. Elder Scrolls. Now it's an MMO. Let's see. Oh, what was this game called? Well, okay. Look at the Old Republic.
Actually, like that one.
That I do too, but it's because I like KOTOR so much that my love carried over to that one.
Yeah.
But everyone and their mom's making an MMO, which fails. Lord of the Rings Online.
We could have had a conclusion to the Arkham universe.
Yeah.
A real proper one that they were already making, and then they just turned it into the live service garbage. Now, here's the thing: live service can work. Warframe does it really well.
Yeah.
Payday does it really well.
Absolutely.
And the newest edition, Helldivers 2, incredibly successful. It's not that people will never touch live service, but like you said, these developers have to be like conditioned for that.
Yeah.
Like they're used to making this kind of stuff.
Rocksteady made really good solo single player Batman games.
Right.
And they told them, the guys that made Arkham Asylum, to make a generic shooter that has live service, and that's not what they're geared for.
I remember in Arkham Origins, which wasn't even Bethesda.
Yeah.
Not Bethesda, sorry.
Rocksteady.
Wasn't even Rocksteady. They had like this really crappy multiplayer mode where you're like playing as like Joker thugs, and it's a shooting game essentially, but like no one played them. Like that literally looks the exact same. I'm just like, learn from literally your own.
Yes, yes. Bethesda, you mentioned them. It just jogged my memory. Fallout 76. That was never intended to be a multiplayer game. They took regular old Fallout 4 and tried to turn it into a massive multiplayer online.
That could have literally just been like more DLC or whatever.
Yeah.
But that would be more successful. I mean, like, I think it found its player base now.
Yeah.
After years and years and years, but it went through crap at first.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
You ever watch Internet Historian's breakdown of Fallout 76?
I never watched this video on that now.
Okay, so good. Are you familiar with him at all? Oh, I love him. Dude, that's the one that got him like super famous, like mega famous. So give that a try. That's his best video. That's his magnum opus. So with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, comes out, doesn't do well, does worse than a lot of other games that copy the same formula. And so right out the gate, too, it had a bunch of bugs. So I told you one last time we talked about this. They had the one where in the Brainiac boss fight, someone noticed a line that they forgot to cut out where he's like, nice try, freeze. Just leaked who, where we're about to release. I don't think they're doing Mr. Freeze. I think they're doing his wife, Nora Freeze, from a multiverse where she's Mr. Freeze.
I hate this world.
I hate it too.
I hate this world.
Yeah.
I hated the whole, like, literally, like, why can't an Arkham game exist without Joker being? Oh, this is a multiverse version of Joker where he's like wacky, wacky, and like more of a hero. It's like,
I mean, it would have done so much better had they found an alternate version of Mark Hamill. You know what I mean? That would have been more fun. Right. Or even just take the Arkhamverse Joker, resurrect him with the Lazarus bath.
I don't even think you need Joker at all, but
I agree.
It would sell.
But yeah, and you say so, but this one didn't sell. So with the Joker Battle Pass DLC Season 1.
Say that with a straight face. The Afterverse Joker Battle Pass Season 1.
Yeah. Playable Joker, like you said, one mission.
Yeah.
Just one. One cutscene. And it's in the trailer too. Basically the whole cutscene where he's like shooting and one eye goes off to the side. It adds a couple dialogue where when you go through the Arkhamverse museum and he does a couple lines of dialogue.
Remember like the horrible psychological torture he put Harley through?
Yeah.
I think she just kind of blows him off.
She's
like, oh my God,
he's
Mr.
not my
J,
type.
Not mine.
Yeah.
It's like,
I was like, this could have been such good dynamic. It could have changed the whole dynamic of the group. There should have been missions where he goes off on his own. They got to find him, and he's off accomplishing stuff.
I'm telling you, man, I'm so off the multiverse train right now.
I agree.
Like, whenever you go down this route, it's so dangerous. Like,
I agree. And it was dangerous way before Marvel made it bad. It was way dangerous before the movies kind of killed it.
Right.
So some people hacked into the game.
Yeah.
Okay. And they found Deathstroke and they started playing Deathstroke.
Oh, he's just in it. He's already in the files.
Yeah. So that tells me that there's a bunch of stuff that they cut out of the game to sell to us later. Wow. So I'm sorry, let me go backwards. The Joker DLC Battle Pass Season 1, they reset everyone's character levels. You have to get to level 35.
What?
Per character.
No.
To get the Joker mission.
You have to go backward? Is that going to be with every character?
Yep.
I mean, there's no
so you got to take King Shark. You got to do the same 3 or 4 missions.
Oh my gosh.
And get them to 35. King Shark to 35. Then you got to switch to Harley. And you got to do that again.
When you think it couldn't get worse.
Yeah. Only then do you unlock the mission.
The one mission.
To go get the Joker. You fight another Brainiac who's the Green Lantern version of Brainiac, right? So you complete that. So now we're down to 11 Brainiacs. We're getting somewhere.
Oh, sweet. We're making progress.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting to the end of this thing. I wonder if this game did well, what do you think they would have done after Brainiac, by the way?
You think they would have continued?
Yeah.
Like after the 13
If this
Brainiacs?
game had millions of people playing, we're like, we want more.
Suicide Squad 2.
Yeah, but where do you think they would have moved to?
I don't know, Dark Side or something?
I actually think you're right. They would have just done another game.
Yeah.
And it would have been Suicide Squad versus Starro.
Usually after they beat Darkseid, it's Brainiac, or after they beat Brainiac, it's Darkseid. Like, that's just like the next
I actually
level.
think you're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. So they would have just done a second game. Actually, they would have done half the Brainiacs.
I'm tired of these squishy non-superhumans killing off these god characters. Yeah. Like, it makes no sense.
It's Brainiac, though. It's not the real version of...
But they killed Superman. Oh, wait.
Allegedly.
They got yellow... freaking Harley Quinn has yellow kryptonite shoved in her pigtails. Like, oh, that makes a whole difference. Like,
you could tell the Rocksteady guys tried to do a good... Failed, but tried to do a good story. They did like King Shark gets the Green Lantern ring. That's funny.
That was a really cool moment. It would have been a really cool arc. But then they kind of just like
forget
about it.
I know. But it was like you could tell they tried. And they tried to do justice to digging up the dead Batman from the Arkham games and trying to send him off again in style, even though it was a perfect ending for that. You could tell that they were trying to do justice where, like, he was alone after Arkham Knight and he was like this hardened Batman, but then he found friends again in the Justice League. They tried.
Do you even remember the game Arkham Knights?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights, yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't play it.
Okay. It's not in the Arkham universe, even though it feels like it should be.
Right.
It's a live service.
And it's Rocksteady, right?
No.
Okay,
there's another company. It just looks like Rocksteady.
Sure.
No one played it, and it came out like relatively right before Suicide Squad did.
Yeah.
And they just went for it, man. They just went for it. Now, you will notice, as soon as they started showing screenshots way before the game was released, people are like, wait, is this a live service game?
Yeah.
And Rocksteady got real nervous. Or the publishers got really nervous.
Yep.
Warner Bros. Got really nervous. She's like, we're going to delay this game for another year.
Yeah.
I don't know what they fixed.
Are you sure?
I don't know what they changed.
Maybe it was worse than what it was.
Probably. The people that it became a meme, like the HUD became a meme because like literally there were so many like numbers and like objectives and currencies. Yeah. People just took that and started adding on to it. It's just like
these recent games are so bad that it's making Arkham Origins look good.
I like Arkham Origins.
Right, but people at the time didn't.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like
people going back, like the prequels, people are going back and be like, oh my gosh, this was amazing.
Nah, I still don't agree with that. But the recent outings are so bad that they're coming back and being like, Arkham Origins was actually pretty good. That's crazy to me.
Hey, remember when Joker was freaking Black Mask?
Yeah, I remember that.
That was the one thing I didn't like.
So I watched the story online. I didn't play Arkham Origins because it wasn't Rocksteady.
Oh, gotcha.
But I watched it and I was like, oh, I don't like that.
It was a good game, but I didn't like that at all.
Right. No, and in hindsight, it was good, and especially when you compare it to these recent outings.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Characters are back to 0. You have to go back and play these grindy missions to your level 35 with each person, or they were nice to put in a shortcut.
Yeah.
For $10, you can just unlock Joker right out the gate.
Wow.
Now, if I was made of money and I liked the game, I would have just bought Joker. When Mass Effect 3 came out, I bought the Prothean that they cut out and sold separately as DLC because I was like, the Prothean was like the. Have you played any of the Mass Effect games?
1 and 2.
Okay, so the Prothean's like, oh my gosh, a living Prothean.
Yeah,
and he's in your squad.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I was like, I can't just not do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a hole in the if you don't do it, the hole in the ship is empty.
Or like in Arkham City, Harley's Revenge or whatever. That was a good DLC, solid DLC. But I'm like, it was like $10. I got paid. But also it continued the story a little bit. But I was just like,
oh, which one?
Harley's Revenge in Arkham City.
Yeah. Well, that was good.
It's great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, well spent.
That's what would happen in that storyline. Was like Harley would go crazy because she's missing Joker, you know, and then she'd find a way to kidnap Batman.
And that kind of starts to foreshadow the whole Joker taking over thing. I'm like, wow, that sets up. Where did we go wrong to where? Forgive my French. Where these developers are just prostituting themselves. Now it's just like whatever goes. It doesn't matter. Nothing has to build up to anything anymore. It's just...
And that's the problem we saw with Marvel movies, with World of Warcraft, like we brought up earlier.
Yeah.
All these things see something successful, and what they'll do is they'll grab any IP that they have that they can, turn it into these terrible games, terrible films. Yeah.
Even Gollum had weird live service elements where you had to buy the freaking voice pack.
I know. And it's awful.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, sorry to talk about cinematic universes again, but, like, that's what it was. Like, DC was like, we can copy this. So much so to where they hired a guy from Marvel to do it. Same thing with the Dark Universe, with The Mummy, with, the Tom Cruise movie, Invisible Man. They tried to do all these cinematic universe. Died after the first movie.
They're not even making money. I don't understand.
No, but they think they will. They think by just copying the formula. If we just copy the formula with our own IPs, and that's what happens, is they're like, okay, we see it with the guy that's like, no more single-player games, more live service. And that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to copy Destiny.
Yeah.
And they all fail. They fail. And failure after failure, we see it over and over again, these people that just try to copy the formula, and they fail right out the gate. It's the same thing when these early movies decided we can be a trilogy.
Yeah.
And so after the first trilogy, they're like, well, every franchise can be a trilogy now. And that's why Terminator keeps dying after one movie every time. You know?
Didn't you say there's a reboot coming again? I thought you said that.
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But the most recent reboot failed again. You know?
Right. Yeah.
I don't think there's another one coming out right now.
Right.
But if they do, it's probably not going to have Arnold again. Because they can't. Like, they keep doing it and it fails.
Oh, man. Listen to the last episode.
Yeah, I know. So that's
put me in Call of Duty. That's what I'm saying.
That's why they keep doing it. Because Warner Brothers turned Mortal Kombat, for Christ's sake, into a freaking live service. They took all the skins that are really cool. They're reselling us Mortal Kombat 3 skins. Yeah. And they're selling it to us in a Mortal Kombat 1 in the store. Mm-hmm. Now, I already bought a hypocrite here. I bought the battle pass for all the extra characters.
You are.
I didn't buy the skins. I'm not buying the MK3 skins that they're all selling separately, and they're rotating out, and they're putting a timer on there to make you feel like it's now or never, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. But I did buy John Cena. I bought Omni-Man, and I bought all this other stuff.
Right.
But that's what it is. It's they see the success of Destiny, and they're like, we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And we've seen it so many times, and that's why we keep getting this crap. So now their most recent blunder. They leaked they leaked one of the freezes, whichever freeze they do, as a playable character.
And his son.
But we find out that Deathstroke, Joker too, most likely.
Just already in the game.
Already in the game. They locked it off, and they thought nobody would find it. Every single video game, by the way, mind you, has people that, upon release, go into the files and they start looking for code names. Yeah. Code name Deathstroke. Oh, there it is.
It's called data mining.
Yep. And that's what they're going to do right out the gate.
Yeah.
And boom, they do it. And it's hilarious. That's
what happens a lot. That's like one of the red flags, call signs, is when like the developers or the publisher, again, less blame on the developers. The publishers are just wanting to get like as much money as possible or as fast as possible, is when they already have all the DLC packed in the game.
Yeah.
And they try to hide it, and they say, "Oh, it's coming." They release it for little pretty trailers, and they make it seem like it's going to be, like the next big thing, but it's already in the game.
Yeah,
it's already in the game.
Mm-hmm. But they don't realize, especially if you don't go to the trouble of encrypting it. If you make it so easy.
No, dude, it was such a rush project. Have you kept up with Dragon's Dogma 2?
A little bit, yeah.
So a lot of people love the game. Like, it's a solid game. However, it got day one or after day one. They'll do this too sometimes.
They sneak microtransactions
after the release.
Yeah.
And it was stupid stuff like fast travel unlocks.
Yes.
More like time saver unlocks, multiple saves, like legitimately all that stuff. And that's why it got like review bombed. Yeah. But then I think they went back on some of that stuff. But essentially, like, you have this great game that everyone's going to pay for, everyone loves.
People like it.
And you just ruin it with these microtransactions. Yeah. No one likes them. Like whether, like, I know I get the argument, just don't pay for it. But at the same time, when it's so intrusive and so all over the place, like it just shows, not only does it break immersion, but it also just kind of like gives you a dirty feeling, you know, like, oh yeah, this is kind of just to get my money. It is not because they want me to have a good time, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Shadow of War, the Shadow of Mordor sequel, tried doing it and they got review bombed and then they took it out of the game completely. Well, Battlefront 2 did it as well.
They didn't take it out of Shadow of War. I actually was going to bring this up.
Oh, yeah.
So the thing they copied was loot boxes.
Yeah.
So to get the orcs you wanted, you had to get loot boxes and hope that your favorite orc was in there. Yeah. Now, they did another thing. This I want to get back to loot boxes. But there was a thing where a developer died, and he was a really cool developer.
Oh, that's right.
And there was a lot of misinformation. So they had originally planned the DLC was paid for this orc that was based on the developer. And it was a really cool idea, but it was paid DLC.
Yeah.
And people were assuming that they were going to profit off of a guy's death, essentially. What they didn't say was that the money that they were paying was going toward that guy's family.
Right.
And it was because the developer misspoke. The developer, he tweeted, yes, we are charging for the DLC. He didn't say why. No. So everyone jumped the gun, and rightly so. They were thinking, oh, they're profiting off this guy dying.
Right.
So then they switched it to where DLC's free, and we're just going to donate X amount of money to that guy's family. But back to what you were saying, they copied the loot box thing, which Battlefront 2 did. That's what pissed people off because they hid all the best cosmetics into loot boxes.
You had to play like someone did the math. It was like 40 plus hours until you can unlock Darth Vader.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't just cosmetics. It was characters.
Yeah.
To play a character you wanted to play, Darth Vader, the most iconic person, they hid him behind boxes.
Yeah. You know, it was all free, ready to go from the very beginning, the original Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
Where it was just all there.
It was all there. We can get into the god-awful release of the new stuff, too, by the way.
Like their release of...
Yeah, but maybe we can get that in a second.
So essentially, you have to defend these strongholds like 10 times in a row or something, and it takes a while. And you can either pay for these orcs, these loot box orcs, which would match the enemy's strength, or you can grind out for like 20 hours. Yeah. And it's at the tail end of the game right before the story concludes.
Yeah.
That's what pissed people off so much. And the store, I remember, was like, as soon as you hit escape, like the main menu, it's thrown in your face.
Yeah.
And that's what people also didn't like. Eventually, they went back on it. They changed it. They nerfed things. They buffed things. Like they reworked it.
They reworked it after Battlefront 2 failed.
Right.
And that was like a year or 2 years after, right? So it wasn't even because they did the right thing. Yeah. What they did was they released a statement saying, oh, we just feel so bad. We just don't think this is right. So we switched it. We reworked it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. They did that after.
Battlefront 2 just...
Yeah. It made Battlefront 2 made loot boxes so bad. I think it was Hawaii that said, we're going to have to pass legislation on gambling, right? So... After that, that's when Shadow War was like, okay, let's pretend we're doing the right thing here and cut it out. After they got the money. Imagine buying a game, spending that much money on loot boxes, and then they just rework the game
I just remember. Do you know what company made that?
Oh, Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers Entertainment.
Warner Brothers Montreal, I believe.
Yeah, Warner Brothers Entertainment, though. So same publisher for Suicide Squad.
Mortal Kombat 1.
They tried it all over again.
Are you telling me that they have a history of chasing trends? Are you telling me that the new Multiverses game is a ripoff of another very highly game where franchises are crossing over? No, Smash Bros. You're telling me that?
Of course not. No. Also, they didn't just make Space Jam 2 to, sell all their IPs.
Hold on. The original Space Jam did the same thing. I will defend Space Jam 2.
I don't know if it was the same thing. They had all the IPs. I get that. But it wasn't like, I thought, it wasn't beyond the Looney Tunes, right?
That may be true. I can't remember.
Yeah, so the first one, it was just
and
Looney
basketball,
Tunes.
okay.
And okay, Michael Jordan.
Okay.
But wait, Michael Jordan?
People people weren't excited about sports until that movie came out.
So they were selling one shoe line.
Right.
Space Jam 2 was selling HBO Max.
Sure. But I felt the writing was about on par. I feel like Space Jam 2 was still a really good, fun movie.
But what I'm saying is that every Warner Bros. Property right now is just a commercial. It's just yes, all movies are, I guess. But that particularly, they're just shameless about it.
Right. And you're right. But I don't know, though. They took sequels in general. We've done studies on sequels. They're supposed to be bigger. Okay, so why just focus on Looney Tunes? Okay, let's focus on everything.
Dude, they had a Rick and Morty cameo.
I know, but it didn't distract me.
That didn't.
At the heart of it, it was still a heartwarming movie about a man trying to connect with his son, and he has to go through Looney Tunes and evil corporations to get to it.
Not Warner Bros. Though. They're not the evil corporation.
No, definitely not. I still like the movie. I thought it was I didn't think it was any more offensive than the first one. The first one did the same exact thing. It just had a lot less properties.
Can we switch gears a bit for a second? I want to talk about Marvel again. I know what a crazy new territory we're talking about, but I just finished Loki season 2.
Oh, dude, so good.
And I'm so sad because I'm like, wow, this was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, what a great way to end it. They're not going to do anything with it, are they?
No. Well, okay, here's the thing. They're not going to swap out villains.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought they were going to do Doctor Doom, and then that's it.
That's what I'm hearing. Mm-hmm. But no, I believe they're actually going to keep Kang. So it's not going to be the Kang Dynasty. They're retitling it. There's good news. So they hired the Loki writers to go write Secret Wars. Oh, okay. So it's Marvel has taken notice that everyone liked Loki. It was well received. It wasn't garbage.
Probably one of the only actually successful elements of Phase 4 and 5
that had multiverse in it.
Yeah,
you know,
which I didn't hate this time.
So the ending of season 2 set it up to where they could draw away from Kang. They could just send the TVA over to pick up all the variants. That's what they say. Like a handful of variants got through, but we're cleaning it up. So that's a way to write the Kang character out. TVA comes in and we got it. Yep. And the Loki's the new Kang. He's the new one above all, essentially, and he's watching everything. Great ending to the show. Yeah. Great ending to the multiverse saga. But no, they're going to keep the Kang character. It looks like they're going to recast him, but he won't be. I don't think he's the primary antagonist anymore. So I think they are going to move toward either Doctor Doom or something else. I don't know. We don't know yet for sure.
Probably not Galactus.
No.
Probably not.
They have to do Fantastic Four first, essentially, because that's how the Silver Surfer comes in.
So I watched a video. You know who Dan Merrill is?
No.
Okay, good movie reviewer guy, enthusiast. He basically was going over kind of like the state of Marvel right now and how Disney is actually putting all its bets on Deadpool 3 to pave the way for the X-Men, which would kick off the Doctor Doom thing, which would kick off perhaps Fantastic Four, and everything's being bet on Deadpool 3, which is inevitably going to be successful.
It is going to be successful. I am worried about the quality.
Do you think he's going to be just used as a puppet instead? Rather than it being actually Deadpool 3 that everyone wants, it's just going to be a corporate puppet that's going to be used.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And here's a problem was they had to halt production and they were limited with writing because of the writer's strike. Ryan Reynolds wasn't allowed to improv, so I have to rely on the strength of they hired writers who wrote the first draft, and it was a really good first draft. I'm actually worried about the movie.
The fact that the TVA shows up, I'm like, oh, that's their ticket. That's how they're going to do it.
They have to.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on this.
Which is crazy because legitimately the reason they're doing with Deadpool, they have no one else. There's no other successful, because Loki ended. There's no other successful
Iron
character
Man's
or
dead.
franchise. Yeah.
Captain America's old. No one's excited about. Did you hear what the original plan for the Captain America show was supposed to be? Falcon and Winter Soldier?
They're just going to make, or aren't they making Falcon the new Captain America?
Yes, which he was at the end of Endgame. Yeah. But the show was originally supposed to be about the terrorist group about to release a deadly virus. However, it was supposed to come out around the time that COVID started, so they had to rewrite the whole thing. And that's how you got the crappy plot about terrorism and who are the real terrorists. It got all political because the original plot was too political by accident, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, so basically they have no one else. Wanda's gone.
Kind
of. They've gone to the point where I don't think they can bring her back right now.
Right. And not in a way fans would be excited for it.
There's nothing. The Marvels, obviously, everyone knows, biggest fail. You went over that on your review. Legitimately, nothing else.
Yeah. So, Ant-Man. Nobody turned out for Ant-Man.
Yeah, they thought Spider-Man was going to be the new spearhead. That failed. Ant-Man was going to be the new spearhead. That failed.
I would say it's not so much Spider-Man failed. It's the fact they cannot get an agreement with Sony.
When I say failed, I mean Sony has them. Legitimately, they're not going to give them up. Good job, Sony.
Well, and then, let's not count our eggs before they've hatched there. Kraven the Hunter hasn't come out yet. I'm so excited for that movie.
I'm sorry.
One of my most
Morbius
anticipated
2 hasn't
films.
come out either.
Yeah. Well, Kraven's going to come out, but it's not going to make any money. Or it might, because it's going to be such a train wreck.
But yeah, essentially, I guess, what is it going to be, Phase 6 that Deadpool is going to pave the way for? Yeah. Is the start.
Because Kang was Phase 5, and it was a failure.
But I literally slept on Phase 5. I didn't realize it was a thing until people was like, oh yeah, that's what it was. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. Ant-Man failed, and Kang was the main antagonist.
Yep.
That's bad.
I like the idea.
Yeah. I actually watched it because I wanted to kind of like catch up on everything.
Yeah. Did you like it?
I was indifferent. I thought the Kane stuff was cool.
And that was everybody's thing.
Yeah. I just thought that everything else was
it didn't need a budget of $300 million or
$250
million. That was the problem. That's why it failed. If it had a budget of $100 million and did Kang and did all that stuff, fine movie. It would have made its money back and change.
No pun intended. I just don't think Ant-Man was like also the best choice to be the big guy, you know, like legitimately to lead. I think they were saying like he was going to be like the leader of the next leader, like of the Avengers or something. I was just like,
I actually think they were pushing. This is my opinion. I think they were pushing for Doctor Strange to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Originally, they were pushing for Black Panther because if you watch Black Panther 1 again, it was essentially Iron Man, where Iron Man 1, the end, he's like, I am Iron Man. Everyone's asking questions. At the end of Black Panther, it's the same thing. I am Black Panther. We're also sharing our technology with the world. Then he died. The main actor, Chadwick Boseman, he died. And then we switch gears to Doctor Strange because the whole movie, they're like, bro, the whole multiverse relies on you, Doctor Strange. Like, you're the center of the multiverse. Like, okay, whatever, dude. but that was it. I think it's Doctor Strange we're focusing on.
Okay.
I would have been okay with Ant-Man being the spearhead of the introduction to Kang if he didn't beat Kang in a one-on-one fist fight. There's no way that should have happened.
I actually think Ant-Man should have died in that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a great ending.
Either higher consequences, like he delays Kang before he shows up for the Avengers, but he straight up beats Kang in a fist fight. I was like, that shouldn't have happened.
He got overtaken by ants. I mean, like, I get it. The ants were cool, but like, this is Kang the Conqueror. This is like Thanos in Avengers 1 getting beat up by Ant-Man.
I really love Disney's push for socialism. Did you notice that in that movie?
Yeah. I remember, oh my gosh.
So forced. Hank Pym's character, Michael Douglas. He's like, I'm just saying, like
socialism works.
All his ants march in a straight line. He's like, I'm just saying, socialism's work. Look how straight they walked.
Okay, Bernie.
You see that? Like, shut up. You're wondering why the movies suck. Also, here's another criticism I have. For some reason, they really thought that all the women characters wouldn't be annoying, just crapping on Ant-Man. Like, oh, you're so cool because you're an Avenger. Well, you should feel bad because there are people suffering. You know what I mean? And they were really like making him feel like crap.
The same one bad scene from not one bad scene, but from She-Hulk that everyone hated because it was like the Hulk, you know nothing of pain and being, you know, like
because I'm a woman.
Like, it's like if anyone else, not Hulk,
take that one scene and turn it into a whole movie. You get Ant-Man 4.
Yeah, God, it got very annoying really quickly.
So I did a video on this that Shav's reference that talks about cancel. So Ant-Man 4 is canceled. The Marvels is canceled. You'll still see articles that'll be like Monica Rambeau, the not Miss Marvel and not Captain Marvel, the other girl. Her name's Monica Rambeau in the movie. They're like, oh, she should get her own movie. I was like, yeah, well, the person writing that article is gonna be the only one seeing it. So
Bob Iger famously recently came out and basically said that he believes Disney should be focusing more on story rather than pushing agendas and stuff, essentially like that.
He also said less quantity and more quality. So here's something that happened with Telltale Games. If anyone remembers, they did the fantastic Telltale series, The Walking Dead.
Yep.
Had Lee, Clementine, really cool stuff. Then they did Batman. They did Wolf Among Us. What ended up happening was they stretched out their group of 50 people at the studio and started pumping games out.
Really expensive IPs too.
And they spread them out. They spread their people too thin. They started releasing crap after crap after crap. Instead of giving one good game per year.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what happened to Marvel was they were like, okay, show, movie. And it spread out.
That's what happened to Star Wars.
And they spread out their people too thin.
Yeah.
So the really good writers, they worked on Loki, but then the really good VFX artists also worked on Loki. Right. Whoever was left got to work on She-Hulk, Moon Knight, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's essentially what happened was I think they stretched out too thin and started focusing on quantity.
I rewatched actually a bunch of the Marvel movies recently.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier is still one of my favorites.
So good.
I cannot believe how much better that looks than Quantumania.
Mm-hmm.
Like miles beyond. It looks like it came out like today.
Yeah.
That's how good the movie looks. And it's a Captain America. It wasn't an Avengers film.
Not at all.
It was a Captain America film.
Had a couple of Avengers in it.
Civil War was an Avengers film. It was the legitimate, like, unofficial Avengers 2.
It was like Avengers 2.5.
2.5, but it really was like, not everyone loved Ultron. Everyone loved Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier was just a Captain America film, and it had like the crazy budget and look of a smash, like legitimately it was a smash of that year.
Yeah.
Quantumania, not so much. Just
and those days are gone too.
Yeah.
You're watching that movie, you're like, there hasn't been a single Marvel film that's rose to this level of quality, that rose to this level of hype.
Endgame is legitimately was the end game. I mean,
that was it.
I think
there have been a couple of decent movies.
I think Multiverse of Madness was like close. It had some cool scenes.
Yeah.
A lot of cool ideas. Mm-hmm. A lot of people didn't like that film. I actually really liked that film, but
I liked it a lot because they had a lot of expectations. And like I said, when you go against what you thought you were going to get, it kind of ruins it for you.
Everything is building up something. Everything has to build up to something, to push. You're right. It's not about, like, I think the last film that was like of its own was like, what was it? Shang-Chi and the 7 Rings or whatever.
10 Rings.
10 Rings. My bad. I never saw the film. But
I'll take a number 7.
wasn't that a standalone film?
Yeah.
And a lot of people loved it.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I never saw it.
Dude, you need to watch that.
Yeah.
And I when it came out, I was like, bro, the movies coming after this are going to be solid, dude. If this is an indicator, I was so wrong. Then we got She-Hulk the following year.
Twerking on your screen.
We need to get away from Avengers, I think.
What are you thinking?
Bro, the Midnight Suns. Doctor Strange is the head of the Midnight Suns, and then he teams up with Ghost Rider. He teams up with Moon Knight. And that's like the Dark Avengers that goes on a smaller level here.
Yeah.
The Defenders. Do that again, but do it right this time.
They should. Man, they're sitting on Daredevil.
Yeah.
Like, great character. Like, seriously, like, utilize him. Don't make him an Avenger. Like, literally, like,
make him a defender. Yeah. If you're gonna build up to something.
Yeah.
Do their Daredevil born again, because it was born again twice. They reshot it, and they just wrapped filming. So
nice.
Yeah. So reshot it, and they're reshooting it. If you want it to tie into something, that's fine because they crossed over with Spider-Man, but it has to be good.
Yeah.
And him, Punisher, Jessica Jones was popular for whatever reason.
It's because of David Tennant.
and there's other characters that they can do.
Right.
Bring Ghost Rider down there too.
Dude, I'd love to see him more. Why hasn't he been touched in years and years and years?
Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, legitimately, such a cool character. Like,
he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It wasn't.
Oh, he was.
It wasn't Johnny Blaze. It was the other one.
I never saw Agents
Hispanic guy. Really good.
Oh, really?
The CGI was really good too. I haven't seen Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. either, but it is actually a decent show. The only problem was it brought back Agent Coulson from the first movie.
Yeah, even though he got skewered.
Right. So they did like a Lazarus Pit type thing, I think.
Great.
Obviously, though, not the Lazarus Pit from DC.
Yeah.
But Disney has a lot of misfires. I read a report that Bob Iger's so sick of the flops.
Yeah. I would be too.
Yeah. He's so tired
of it. He had to be brought back because it was flopping
and
so bad.
And he's tired of it. Understandably, he's fed up with it. But he says he's going to make the changes. And I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we're going to get some good Avengers films. They're still dead set on Avengers 5. They're reshooting the heck out of Captain America 4 because I guess the original plot they're not happy with. There wasn't enough action. There's going to be a Suicide Squad level Thunderbolts movie. You know what I mean? I'm actually kind of excited for that. It doesn't have any characters that I'm super excited to see.
Yeah.
Like, you know who's in it?
I do not, actually.
It's going to have the lady from Ant-Man 2, the Ant-Man and the Wasp, the villain from that who can, like, move around.
Thought she died.
No, she's in it. The main villain from Black Widow, Taskmaster. He's in it. Or sorry, she.
Yeah, I remember. Yep. I thought people. Oh, okay. I never saw that one either, but I know people hated the Taskmaster reveal.
In the movies, they liked him in the comics because it's really cool. The main girl from Black Widow, the sister,
interesting.
Winter Soldier, and a bunch of other people nobody cared. Like I'm listing characters that are D tier characters. Now they can make it like a fun Suicide Squad movie. Oh, the big Russian guy from Black Widow, he's going to be in it. But like these aren't characters that we're going to sell a franchise to.
Yeah, because I think there's supposed to be one more Black Widow film. It's like a prequel to set up the next Black Widow or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. But and they recast Thunderbolt Ross because William Hurt passed away. But I'm excited for this. They recast him with Harrison Ford. And if you know, the Thunderbolts, General Ross turns into the Red Hulk. So if we see a Red Hulk Harrison Ford, I'd actually be pretty excited about that.
Is he going to live to see that?
I don't know. Here's a funny thought. So I think they structured the last sequel trilogy of Star Wars on Harrison Ford dying first because he's the oldest. So that's why they killed him off first movie.
Right.
But they didn't know everyone was going to die out of order. So Princess Leia died.
Mark Hamill, you're still here?
Yeah, exactly. But I think they got Harrison Ford out the way because at the time he was like mid-70s.
That's probably actually really accurate.
Right. And they just gambled wrong.
They didn't think Carrie Fisher was probably going to die.
Like the year after.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy.
The poor woman. She was still on drugs. She was.
Did you have you kept up with do you know the Bob Iger versus Nelson Peltz situation?
I don't know too much about that. I saw that Disney won, but what was that about?
So essentially, I learned about this. Sorry. I learned about this recently. So with corporations, if you want to be on the board, like I'm talking about like if you're an investor and you want to be on the board, and I'm talking about like millions of dollars investment, and you were like, I want to be a part of this company, I feel like I can reshape this. What you have as an activist investor essentially is like, I'm going to pay you a butt ton of money to put me on the board. And if you disagree, I'm going to go to the shareholders and let them vote about it. So that's what essentially what was going on. Nelson Peltz was like, I want to be on the board because I see that Disney is doing everything wrong. They're pushing agendas. He's saying everything that Bob Iger was saying about himself or about for Disney.
Yeah.
But what he did wrong essentially is that he went a little too right leaning. And so that freaked out a whole bunch of like other investors. And he only got like 15%, 20% of the vote. So like he wasn't really going to, but it's basically showing how people have had enough with Disney on a corporate level.
As long as Bob Iger's aware and he actually does it. It's one thing to say you're going to fix something and then not do it. So he has about a year to start fixing stuff.
Yeah.
I know you really think that Snow White's not going to come out.
I'm still standing by it.
And I don't.
I'm still standing by it.
It's not going to make money though. It's going to come out and flop. It's going to come out. Snow White's not white. The 7 dwarfs won't be dwarfs.
No.
And it's gonna fail.
Yep.
Sadly. But I think what he needs to do, essentially, I think Disney needs to take a year off. They need
if that's ever gonna happen.
I know, but they need to let the movies that are already made come out and flop. But he needs to go back to the drawing board and stop doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. The people they're really pushing the agenda on don't go to the movies. The people that protest injustice, the people that protest social issues, they don't have a job.
Right.
They're not working.
Yeah.
They can't go to the movies, especially in California.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. That's right.
Yeah. It ties in. Okay. The people they pandered to don't go to the movies.
Yeah.
You know who people go to the movies? Me. These are the people you need to pander to.
They don't care about
No.
the quality of the film. They just want to make sure that they're heard. That's
exactly.
all. I think video game developers suffer this too, to tie back is like when you notice when like they do something, a big political move and people on the internet like they make a small splash and the corporation, instead of like taking their licks and ignoring it, they have to double down and they make like a big tweet about it and then make a big stance, and that gets people more pissed off. It's
right.
Like, yeah, because you're attacking the internet and the internet is like mostly non-political. Like, no, I mean, like I'm talking about, yes, very political on the internet, but I'm talking about the most people who are like Redditors don't actually care.
Yeah.
They don't actually care. The people that you're, the gamers, you know, like they don't actually care a whole lot. They just want to play the game.
Yeah.
They just want to talk about the story. They just want to be, you know, have the experience. They want to pay money and have an experience, not to be pandered to, you know, not to have something pushed onto them. So same thing with more movie corporations. Like you're absolutely right. Like their demographic, whatever they're pushing for, it's not actually people going to see the movie.
No.
They just want to make sure that their people, their organization, their movement is being heard, represented like every other place in the corporate in the industries, you know, every other industry. So it's not actually helping them. Now, I will say, apparently, their most recent like reports and stock, it actually is going back up, but not in the way that they want it to be, obviously.
Sure.
So it's not like they're going to die or anything, but it's still like this is the worst that Disney's been suffering for over a
very long time.
I'm
going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they're going to make some changes.
I hope so.
I'm going to say like
we just have to get all these ideas that are already like in the oven out of the way.
Right. So there are a lot of stuff that were still in the oven back when they were pushing all this crap.
Yeah.
So let those come out. They could still count that as taking a year off, I think. Just let these come out.
Yeah.
And then take a year to actually really start, okay, let's make stuff people actually want to see. I think we can get back there. I really do. I think Marvel can be strong again. Not as strong as it was 5 or 6 years ago, but I think we can get back to some level of success here.
Yeah.
In Marvel, in animation, all that stuff. Like, that's what Disney's known for. Let's go back to the roots. The original Snow White, they weren't pushing anything.
Yeah.
You know? What's her name? Rachel Ziegler, okay? The original Snow White wasn't pushing stalkers, okay? So, yeah. Prediction. Are you going to go see Snow White or no? Probably not.
You're assuming it's going to be coming out.
Yeah, fine. If it does come out, you're going to see it.
I don't think it's going to be going to the movie theaters. If it does come out, you're going to have to buy it. How else are they going to make money off of it?
So you think it's just going to be a rent?
Disney Plus exclusive, rent it, yeah.
Maybe.
Like, I don't see them, because, like, you said it yourself, like, that would actually cost them more money to put in theaters, and no one's going to go see it. Right. It's such a joke at this point.
It is.
No one, even left or right, wants to really go see it. It's so tainted right now.
Yeah, very much so.
Regardless of your views, everyone hates the actress. Like, legitimately, like...
We should do a... excuse me. We should do a watch party for the one coming off of Daily Wire, the Snow White movie.
Oh, I forgot about that.
That's probably going to be good. I think they're holding on to it literally until Disney releases their version.
Probably, yeah. It's probably already made.
So no, I'm sure it is. It's such a simple story. You can't mess it up.
Okay,
you know?
We can do that. Maybe they'll sponsor us.
We should actually do... I wanted to do, guys, a commentary track. I want to do a commentary track on stuff. I think we should do Harry Potter. I was thinking about it. I was like, duh.
The movies?
Yeah. We put on the movie, we hit record on the microphone, we just watch it, and then we go, oh my God, look at that hair. This is what I always pictured Snape to look like. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm really excited, guys, too. We're working on a channel trailer, which we're going to put onto Google Ads, I think, unless I find a better way to do it. YouTube promotions, I'm told, is not that good.
Because it's really new.
It's very new.
It's brand new. Yeah.
And they're trying to copy TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok has it so simplified. I tested it out. I paid $19 for a boost on TikTok, and I went up like 30 followers.
Yeah.
That's great. And it's still going up because it's a 24-hour boost.
For those of you who don't know, it's not like it's not buying subs. What it is essentially is making sure that your name is shown up more regularly in the algorithm. So for Google Ads, you can make it to where, like, okay, I want this name to show up. When you type in specifically like podcast, for instance, I want ours to show up like more often than not. Yeah. So it's not like buying like spots or anything or something like that. It's a new way of doing things where like you just, again, kind of like buying a commercial or something like that, but more low scale. So
and like the more people see it, doesn't mean everyone's going to click and subscribe, but it'll go up.
I still think that if more people saw this, more exposure, then like more people would subscribe. I think we got a good thing.
I really do. I think we got a solid show. I think my movie reviews, when I figure out how to make my faceless blurry on the camera,
how about you turn the autofocus off?
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, no, I think we have a solid product here, to be honest with you. We're on Spotify, Amazon Music. Like, we're casting a big net. If we just got some traction, I think we'd have a solid fan base, honestly.
Come on, everyone. You want to see that merch, right? You want to see the Caleb plushie.
You saw that shirt I was wearing 2 weeks ago. You want some? Well, we're going to start sending some money over here. Keep watching, subscribing. I'm really excited. And, we're almost... Do you realize that our channel is almost 300 Spartans strong? You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Yeah.
Because we're probably, if I look right now, we're probably close to, what, 250?
We're at 247.
Gotcha.
Right now. We're at the second at the time of recording. I'm willing to bet once some more shorts come out, that'll go up.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping. I wish TikTok subs would transfer to YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, I wish it'd make it easier to connect to YouTube and subscribe there. But, yeah.
We'll have to talk soon about TikTok and whether or not it will actually be a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I really got to look at that legislation that was passed, whether or not it's going to be banned. I think that's the thing I really need to look at. And
probably has to go through, I think it has to go with like one more wave of voting, and then like, you'd be gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so TikTok makes it easy to promote and get followers, depending on what you're doing. Podcasts are kind of hard to do to promote because it's a long discussion and that someone's not a part of. But I think that's one of our strengths is having a conversation that a lot of people feel like they can just jump in and add to it. If we can find a way to get that out there. I also think like an ad like to the side of whatever website you're on, like the banner.
Oh yeah,
I think that'd be great too. So I'm also looking at how to do shorts. Like, I mean, we do pretty good on our own, making our own shorts. But I saw some companies. I looked at one. Are you familiar with Caleb Hammer, the guy that does financial audits, and he sits people across on his podcast and he grills into them about their spending for an hour?
Kind of funny. No.
Well, he offers to let the company that edits his stuff. He said like, oh, you get a discount if you use them through me, and they'll do your shorts daily for you, right? And I looked it up, it was like $3,000 a month. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, that's corporate level.
Yeah, I'm good. And it would probably be good, but I don't think it would get us what we wanted. Like, nothing we couldn't do ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think what we're doing is okay.
Yeah.
It's just, a lot of editing.
Yeah,
a lot of editing.
Very much so. And then, I don't know. Like, if you're scrolling through something, an article you like, and then off to the right, you see a banner for the Third Wheel podcast, I think that'd be great, you know?
In case all of you are wondering, if you're like, why does the channel look so different right now? It's because we're trying to find a look. Yeah, we're going through some things. We're experimenting, trying to find our place in this big world.
Yeah. On the days we have guests, we'll use camera. On the days where it's just me and Shaps like normal, we're going to have the animation, which looks great. That was worth the money on that because I don't know how to animate, but I love it. I wanted to find a way to do like smoke or like I like cigars, so like cigar smoke would have been cool. Yeah. But I like how he did coffee steam. That just looks sick, dude. The good kind of sick.
I love it.
So
look at my coffee right now.
I know. That's can't wait to drink it.
I think I haven't said this before, but I'm actually like I've told you before, Caleb. Like I'm so turned off by like AI art now. I'm just like I'm kind of done with it. So I want to start making we were starting to make our own thumbnails now, which is really, really cool. Yeah. His fiance and myself are making thumbnails, which I'm like, good. Like
the last one he did was really good.
Yeah. So like less of just relying on, what everyone else is relying on. Cause I'm like, we're talented enough. All of us, we're all talented enough, to make a good product ourselves. We don't have to rely on you. Just like,
I'd be a fool not to take advantage of the talent we have right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like fiance doing thumbnails and her camera stuff, and then you editing, you putting all the cool stuff in the videos, putting the article in the background. Like, I mean, we got so many talented people that are within reach. Like it'd be so foolish not to just let it work. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. I'm excited. I think this trailer is going to be a big one for us.
Yeah, new content coming soon.
Definitely. Yeah, especially if I'm going to keep doing good at the casinos. I could win a budget to promote our stuff.
I feel like after the channel, we have to introduce. I mean, audience, please chime in if you want something specific. But like, I think we should launch something new, like a new element or a new something after the channel launches or the trailer launches.
Yeah. What do you mean? Any ideas?
Either it'd be like the commentary track, or we do something. I don't know, maybe a video game review, or just like let's play, or maybe we do something even more different than that. Like
absolutely
something more, something bigger.
Yeah, I think especially if we ever made money off of this, which probably not, right? But I mean, I don't know if we're paying for advertising, who knows?
When we hit 1,000, I'd like to get into live stream, like a live stream event one time.
You know my opinion on live streams.
I think you have enough practice.
No thanks. I'm scared.
I'll put a bag over your head.
Do that. I'll just breathe through it anytime I'm about to say something controversial. So, all right. That's our plans for the channel, guys. We got some stuff cooking. I'm excited. Can't wait to show all my friends the trailer when it's done. So I'm excited, guys, for the future. And I can't wait to share more content with y'all and just keep pumping these out. I'm excited. How do you feel, Shaps? You feeling good?
Very excited.
I'm feeling great, guys. Love you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed this week on the show. We will see you next week whenever we get done filming. So lots of stuff coming out. Lots more drama happening.
Happy April.
Bye.